Hola, guys. Buenos dias. Long time no speak, I know. Um, this is technically the second week of enrichment. I believe it is the ninth week that we have been in distance learning, which is crazy. If it's not the ninth, it's at least the eighth. Um, and that is including that spring break that we had. Anyway, it's been a while. The reason I didn't give you an enrichment activity last week was because so many of you, even if you are doing okay and you're not necessarily falling behind or failing, um, almost everyone had at least one or two assignments that they still needed to turn in. So before introducing anything new, I wanted to give you an opportunity to get your grade up just by turning in missing work. So a lot of you took advantage of that, and great job to you. Some of you have been contacting me about um, remediation related things, and we've been doing Google Meets, and I've been continually going through the list in alphabetical order to make sure I'm contacting each of you individually if you are more at risk. But I want to make sure everyone knows, including the people who are doing okay, that I'm here for you and I can talk to you about more opportunities to get your grade up. But this one is a great one. This is why I'm on this page. This is an interactive assignment that was actually shared with me by someone else, but I really, really like it for a lot of reasons. It's a great exercise for your brain in general. It's great for learning about Spanish culture. It's great for learning basic Spanish language. Nothing that's going to overwhelm you during this crazy time. Um, but hopefully it will keep you refreshed. A lot of the material in here is um, stuff that we've already covered. It's all pretty much culture, and you will definitely know some of the information already if you've paid attention in my class, and some of which you may just know from being a U.S. citizen, because it is primarily about Latino culture in the United States. But it does go a little bit beyond our borders and talks about where a lot of our Latino immigrants come from, the geography of those countries, the demographics and what have you. But mostly it's a very interesting cultural lesson, and you're going to learn a lot of cool stuff, I hope. Um, so I'm going to walk you through this assignment. I'm going to show you how you will submit it. Now, this is to the best of my knowledge because I've never used this particular platform before. It's PBS Learning Media. I had to create an account, and I think when I proceed, it's going to probably ask me to log in, and I'll just show you what it looks like on my end. You might have to create an account, but I think it should be very easy. I think you just sign up through your school Google account. And then again, I'm not entirely sure how you'll save and share your work, but we will walk through it together, and I think by the end of this video, we'll understand. So what I'm going to do first is well, first of all, one thing I wanted to mention is also that I did actually want to give a larger lesson on this in person, because when we were back in January, February, whenever we were doing our um, projects on various Spanish-speaking countries, cities, regions, etc., you guys learned a lot about the Spanish-speaking world, but one place we really didn't cover was the Spanish-speaking world in the United States, and that is huge. I mean, a large portion of Spanish speakers in the world happen to be in the United States, so it's it's kind of its own culture, and then within that massive American Latino culture, there are a lot of sort of subcultures that you'll learn about here. Um, so it's very important that you are aware of this, especially as Spanish language learners. So that's why we are doing this lesson. Muy interesante, I think, anyway. Okay, so I've already shared it to Google Classroom. You may have noticed that by now. Um, so I guess I'm not going to click on that, but I am going to click Launch to get it started. Okay, yep, it's asking me to sign in. When I first checked this assignment out, I clicked Continue as a guest. And I don't think that's the route anyone is going to want to take. You're going to want to click Sign In, even if you've never been on this website like me. And it's just going to, it'll show you this. It'll ask you if you're a teacher or a student. Obviously, you guys will click Student. and it looks like you can continue with your Google account, your student account. So it should be fairly straightforward. It should just ask, it should auto-populate your email address. You can put in your password. It might ask you for the school zip code, which, by the way, is 30529. You guys probably knew that already. I'll zoom in on that here. Beep, beep, beep. I had to look it up. I don't have it memorized because I don't live in Jackson County. So 30529. And then for me, when I was signing up, it also made me, besides just putting in the zip code, it made me put in the name of the school, which populated from a drop-down list, and then also I think my role. So for you guys, it'll probably be a little bit more simple, but hopefully the login or sign-in process will be very, very easy for you. But I am just going to sign in because I've already created my account. I know, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but it's kind of like we're in class together and we're learning some new technology together. Okay, so I'm in. I'm going to click launch. This is, I think, 9 pages total. And I'm just going to read exactly what it says here, but I'm going to go quickly. Exploring culture through the lens of presencia, presence. Celebrating different cultures can help us understand and respect what others value, recognize how diversity enriches our world, and better appreciate our own cultural heritage or traditions. Just imagine how static society could become if everyone acted the same. True. In this bilingual lesson, you will learn the diversity within Latino culture by viewing content from WGBY's Presencia, a bilingual television program produced in English and Spanish that features the Latino community of Western New England. That's very specific, but okay. Through the lens of Presencia, you'll explore some of the rich diversity within Latino food, music, dance, and art while meeting individuals who honor their cultura. The video clips in this lesson are in Spanish with English subtitles or closed captions, and the vocabulary in the glossary will help familiarize you with Spanish terms, expressions, pronunciations, and their meanings. You're going to know a lot of these already, by the way, the terms that they're talking about. All right, so what you'll do throughout the lesson, you'll write short responses to questions, listen to pronunciation of Spanish words, and watch video clips. By the last page, you'll have the opportunity to write about Latino culture, either by discussing how its diversity enriches society as a whole or comparing it to your own. Sorry about my dog. Oh boy, this could go on for a while. Watch this short introductory clip from Presencia that gives you a glimpse of the program's cultural topics, some of which you'll explore in this lesson. Oh my gosh. I better close this door. Very interesting times we're in, guys. Hopefully you can hear over his barking. I'm not going to be able to get him to stop because it's the mailman. Hey, come here, you. Ven aquí. Cállate, cállate. Be quiet. Shh. There. He's gone. It's okay. Está bien. Está bien, mi perrito. Todo está bien. Okay, well that was fun, guys. Teaching you some Spanish through disciplining my dog. It's just a normal Spanish class. Okay, so moving on. Hopefully you now understand what is expected of you. Now, that said, and I'm going to highlight this text so that you know this is the part I'm talking about. Ziggy. It says that it talks about a lot of things that it wants you to do. I don't expect you to necessarily do all of these things. In fact, I'm going to let you guys customize it because this is really just bonus assignment at this point. This is just bonus, opportunities. You can get as elaborate or as unelaborate as you want. Okay, I will give you a little bit of a grade if you do some parts, some responses, and a much bigger grade if you go all out on it. So you could, and that can mean a few different things. There's you'll see as we go through the pages, and I am going to wrap this up in just a second, that there are different areas to write in. You can choose to skip some of those if you really want, or just write skip so that I know that you're skipping that section. Or you can just write a little bit rather than writing what it kind of asks you of. So I will let you be the judge of how elaborate to get on this. If I can tell you're just phoning it in and not making really any effort at all, then I'm not going to give you extra credit for that. But if you make at least some effort and show me that you've learned from this lesson, then you will get the extra credit. And to do the whole thing and to do it as elaborately as it suggests you do would probably take you, I would say, a good hour, maybe a little bit more if you're really, really a perfectionist. But possibly even longer, but you can pace yourself. You have until next Wednesday to finish this, so I don't think it should be too bad. Okay, I feel like I've probably lost several of you by now, but we're going to move on. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. So this is a video. It won't let me play the audio while I'm recording my screen, but it's just a little introduction video. It's very easy to follow, very short. Okay, the next section is on sort of the demographics of Latin presence in the United States. There is actually no assignment here. It's just reading and graphs, okay? You can expand this graph. This is very interesting. So it shows you a map of the United States with a little color-coded thingamajig to show you where certain types of Latino subcultures are primarily located. So you can see Mexican is the blue, and that's all over the United States. That's not surprising since they border us, but it's kind of interesting to see that Puerto Ricans, for example, are mostly hanging out up in the Northeast. And then in Florida, you really don't have a large Mexican population at all. It's much more Cuban and a little bit Dominican. So pretty interesting. And there's more stuff you can click on and read about within here, okay? Encourage you to explore. Moving on, next page. La página 3. Okay. Food, something we've covered a lot of recently. You can watch this video and based on what you've learned in it and the other information on the page, you can write your answers to these two questions here. Okay, it says you do not need to use complete sentences. Totally agree with that. Okay, keep it simple. Moving on. More food. We all love food. Okay, here's some great examples of popular foods in various Latino cultures, a lot of which you will have learned about already. Okay, there's a little something you can write about here. Same deal as the last page. Nothing crazy. Then we have music, another video to watch, some instruments. You can click on these, and when you click on the little sound icon, it'll pronounce the word for you. There's actually a lot of things like this throughout this assignment where it shows you a list of vocabulary terms. You can click on them, read about them, and then click the sound icon to hear them pronounced. And then you can practice pronouncing them. Okay, and then there's something you can write here. I'm running out of my 15-minute time span. Okay, dance, same idea, moving on quickly. Okay, arts, awesome, love this page. This is lesser known information, so I like that. Organize your thinking. Okay, this is an organizer for writing your final assignment for this overall lesson. You don't have to use it, but it might help. And then an essay, and you can write it in the form of a Google Doc. It kind of walks you through it here. You can attach the file, you can write it in their text editor. It's kind of funky to use, you have to click around to get it to work. Or you can link it to a Google Drive, you can email it to me directly, really whatever you prefer. You may have to create a separate document for the other little writings as well. I'll leave that up to you. Don't stress too much. Gotta jam, running out of time. hit me up with the email if you have a question.